Okay, Jesus said in Matthew 5:19, do and teach God's law. This is God's law number 20, capital punishment for idolatry. Here's God's law number 20 from God's law book of Deuteronomy, in Deuteronomy chapter 13. Suppose there are prophets among you, or those who dream dreams about the future, and they promise you signs and miracles, and the predicted signs or miracles occur. If they then say, come, let us worship other gods, gods you have not known before, do not listen to them. The Lord your God is testing you to see if you truly love him with all your heart and soul. Serve only the Lord your God and fear him alone. Obey his commands, listen to his voice, and cling to him. The false prophets or visionaries who try to lead you astray must be put to death, for they encourage rebellion against the Lord your God who redeemed you. Since they try to lead you astray from the way of the Lord your God, how he commanded you to live, you must put them to death. In this way you will purge the evil from among you. Suppose someone secretly entices you, even your brother, your son or daughter, your beloved wife, or your closest friend, and says, let us go worship other gods. But do not give in or listen. Have no pity and do not spare or protect them. You must put them to death. Then all the people must join in putting them to death, because they have tried to draw you away from the Lord your God. Then all the nation will hear about it and be afraid, and no one will act so wickedly again. In towns, you may hear that scoundrels among you are leading their fellow citizens astray by saying, let us go worship other gods. In such cases, you must examine the facts carefully. If you find that the report is true and such detestable act has been committed among you, you must attack that town and completely destroy it. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger and be merciful to you. He will have compassion on you and make you a large nation. The Lord your God will be merciful only if you listen to his voice and keep all his commands that I am giving you today, and doing what is right in the sight of the Lord your God. End quote. To understand or embrace hard things in Scripture, I always pray, Lord, help me to understand and see why or how everything is so good and right in your word. This law is for God's civil law, but we still may need grace and faith to understand and embrace it. If so, first think about this. 1, think, in the beginning, God created you, me, everyone else. This in itself should be enough to not question anything that God says. 2, realize God gives us life, breath, and all things, and in him we live, move, and have our very being. Therefore, we should embrace everything God says. 3, remember, no one loves you, me, and everyone more than God. For God so loved the world, he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. Therefore, everything God says is out of love for our benefit and his glory. 4, never forget. Who else has held the oceans in his hand? Who has measured off the heavens with his fingers? Who else knows the weight of the earth or has weighed the mountains and hills on a scale? Who is able to advise the Spirit of the Lord? Who knows enough to give him advice or teach him? Has the Lord ever needed anyone's advice? Does he need instruction about what is good? Did someone teach him what is right or show him the path of justice? Therefore, no more questioning of God, only obeying him. Now, for this civil law to be rightly understood, a person needs to realize this is fundamentally a law against treason and insurrection. But for a nation to be one nation under God, i.e. Jesus as King of Kings, then it cannot be a nation under any other Lord gods. That would be annihilation to the nation. God's law never takes any action against what anyone believes. Anyone can live in a Christian nation and believe whatever they want. They just can't be promoting idolatry or anything contrary to God and his law. This would be insurrection to a nation under God and his law. This specific law describes insurrection coming from 3 areas. 1, first comes from an individual, a false prophet, contrary to God's law. If the false prophet is not stopped, it will spread to others. Number two, if family or friends are not stopped from spreading this insurrection of idolatry, it will spread through a town. Number three, if a town is not destroyed that is spreading a revolutionary idolatry, it will spread through a nation, destroying the nation. This whole cycle may take time, but 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, don't be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. Or Galatians 5:9 says, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Or Hebrews 12:15 says, see to it that no one falls short of the grace of God and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. End quote. One of the hardest portions of this law to accept may be this, quote, suppose someone secretly entices you, even your brother, your son or daughter, your beloved wife, or your closest friend, and says, let us go worship other gods. But don't give in. Don't listen. Have no pity. Do not spare or protect them. You must put them to death. End quote. First, realize it's one thing if someone believes in other gods, but it's quite another thing if they are trying to secretly entice you and say, let us go worship other gods. In a nation where Jesus is king and his word is law, this would be national treason and insurrection. All nations have the death sentence for treason, and one nation under God, rightfully so, would have the death sentence for promoting idolatry, which is treason and insurrection.